What are some harmless ways to fuck with people? Carefully step over a non-existing obstacle. Say no pun intended after a sentence where there was clearly no pun. When you shake someone's hand, move yours left to right. As they do the traditional up and down, a hilarious circle ensues. I put a tiny piece of masking tape over my coworker's mouse laser on April Fool's Day one year, wrote April Fools on it. He troubleshot every single thing except examining the mouse. He eventually called IT, who simply turned the mouse over and pointed it out to him. Don't turn around when you walk into a lift. When having a conversation during a meal, specifically only ask questions to people that are chewing. ETA. I was never a server, but had this taught to me by a dear friend of mine years ago when we used to eat in a public cafeteria and mess with people we just met. Ask, what was your, or your wife's, husband's, sister's, etc. name again? After they answer, I shake my head and say, no, that's not it. Whenever I visit my extended family across the country, I bring a bag full of random remotes that I don't use anymore. Just random remotes that go to old DVRs or anything really. Just hide them around their house, they only recently caught on. If I know someone is walking a little ways behind me and I turn a corner with nobody else around, I like to run 10-20 steps to widen the gap and then laugh to myself thinking that the person behind me will be confused. I doubt anyone ever notices, but I get a kick out of it every time. I know someone who always takes an item to a party and leaves it somewhere in the house, i.e. a trinket, tchotchke. After giving a compliment, say no offense and watch them struggle to find the non-existent insult. My mother-in-law is meticulous about her home decor. One day, we come over and she out of the blue asks if we have been flipping one of her decorations on its side every time we visited. We were puzzled until our 6-year-old started cracking up. The little monster had been switching it for months. Everyone got a good laugh out of it. When driving, I like to wave at random people as if I knew them. Hilarious to see instant confusion on their faces. My friend was logged into his Twitter on my tablet, so I kept changing his profile picture to a banana. He thought someone hacked him and tweeted about it. I replied to the tweet using his profile. It got so bad he was arguing with himself on Twitter. Say high five to someone, but don't put your hand up. When you're talking to someone, just keep handing them random items. They'll just keep taking them without realizing it. When I was a corrections officer, we had a guy who worked with us who was kind of a dick to everyone, and he was computer illiterate. We took a screenshot of his desktop and moved all of his icons off of it so it looked legit, but nothing worked. It took him an hour before he finally called IT and they figured it out pretty quickly. He wouldn't talk to any of us for about a week. I'm British, living in Poland. Whenever I'm in the city, I always stop and help people holding maps, because there's really not much support for tourists and I want to give other visitors a good impression. However, I usually talk to them in a really thick, fake Slavic accent, but segue into my plummy English accent over the course of the conversation. If they ever comment on how good my English is, I lapse straight back into the fake Polish one and thank very much for nice words. I try do my best, but it's hard, you know? My grandpa does this thing where he stops in the busy street and starts staring into the sky as if he's seen something amazing. It doesn't take long for other people to stop and stare too. Once he reaches critical mass, he quietly slips away chuckling to himself. Edit. He's in his 90s now, but when he was a teenager he was a bit of a young tearaway and had a pet monkey, which is weird considering this was the UK. Edit 2. Holy crap, this blew up overnight. And on my cake day too. Whenever you're speaking to somebody who is dominating the conversation, focus on their chin or ear. Look slightly concerned. Every so often flick back to their eyes, but then always make your way back to the one thing. Watch them get increasingly more uncomfortable, then eventually just leave. Every other week or so I'd change which side my coworker's drill's belt clip was on. 2 screws in 30 seconds for a maddening payout. IDK if he ever caught on, as he sadly passed away last year. I got a huge kick out of doing it though. Might bring that one back as most of us share the same brand of drill. He got a great one on me. Every day or two he'd hide a Magic the Gathering card in my toolbox, never the same spot twice. Genuinely made me mad when I'd pick something up only to see another card hidden beneath. Eventually I had enough cards to completely cover his locker door inner and outer, he never took them off. Even cut out cards to fit the vents on the locker. I spent a good hour or two on my day off making it. Proud of that one. RIP Chris. Pranks haven't been the same since you left. Your locker still remains covered in magic cards and nobody has questioned it to this day.
Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, don't forget to like it. Tomorrow we will upload a new video. Subscribe so you don't miss it. See you soon.